Hello, my name is Ethan Miller, and I'm from Chicago, United States. Tonight I want to share something very personal, how I realized I needed to get my wife's attention in a way I had never done before, not just to impress her, but to reconnect with her heart in the chaos of life, work, and the small misunderstandings that quietly pile up in every marriage. It all started one ordinary evening. I had just returned from a long day at the office, the streets of Chicago glowing under the dim orange streetlights. I was exhausted, my mind preoccupied with deadlines, emails, and responsibilities. Yet as I walked into our apartment, I noticed something I couldn't ignore, her silhouette by the window, looking distant and quiet. Her name is Sophia Miller, my wife for 3 years, and until that moment, I hadn't realized how disconnected we had become. She didn't turn to greet me. She didn't ask about my day. She just stood there, her hands clasped loosely, staring at the city skyline. That was when a sudden clarity hit me. I had stopped noticing her. Not really noticing her. I dropped my bag quietly and walked over. "Hey," I said softly, trying not to startle her. She glanced at me, forcing a small smile. "Hey," she replied, but there was a subtle distance in her tone. My heart sank a little. I knew that evening I had to do something. I had to get her attention, not through gifts, not through words alone, but through something more meaningful, something that would make her see that I truly cared and that I noticed her every little nuance, every hidden emotion. I started with small gestures. I noticed her favorite flowers weren't in the vase. So the next morning I picked up fresh lilies from the nearby florist. I left them on the kitchen table with a simple note. "For the woman who makes every place brighter." She smiled when she saw them, a small flicker of warmth returning to her eyes. But I knew that this alone wouldn't be enough. The next step was conversation, but not just any conversation. I wanted to talk to her like we had in the very beginning, when every word mattered, when every glance and laugh created a connection that felt unbreakable. That night, I suggested we take a walk along the river. The Chicago River had always been our little escape, a quiet place where traffic, work stress, and everyday worries seemed miles away. As we walked side by side, the city lights reflecting on the water, I started to open up. I shared moments from my day, but I also revealed small fears and vulnerabilities I had never voiced before, how work pressure sometimes made me feel inadequate, how I worried that I wasn't always giving her enough attention, how I feared drifting apart silently. She listened, her hand brushing against mine occasionally, subtle but significant. For the first time in weeks, I felt her presence, not just her physical presence, but the emotional one I had been missing.